Okay, with the National League playoffs taking place this weekend between the Solihull Moors, the playoff final, and Grimsby Town, we're going to look at the history of the English Football League, the EFL. We've done several history videos recently, Sunderland, Port Vale, Nottingham Forest. Now, you guessed it, we're going to do a video obviously on the history of the Football League, but we have to go back pre-foundation day of the Football League where our story starts, which is actually on the 20th of July 1885 when the FA, the Football Association, permits professionalism for the first time. Now, a lot of the clubs, in fact all the clubs that set up the Football League in 1888 are all playing in the FA Cup by this point. The FA Cup is an older competition, which we will look at in time. But two important meetings take place in the spring of 1888. The first meeting takes place on the 23rd of March in the Anderton Hotel in London, and it's Aston Villa and their chairman that are key to this, sending telegrams to the other 11 future members and founders to have a meeting. Then they go back up north to Manchester on the 17th of April 1888 at the Royal Hotel. They decide to create the Football League. Starting in on September the 8th, the season will begin. Now, the 12 teams, of which one of them has reformed twice, decided to agree to form the Football League in 1888 were Accrington, the forerunners of Accrington Stanley, Aston Villa, the driving force behind the creation of the Football League, my club, Blackburn Rovers, one of our biggest rivals, Bolton Wanderers, Burnley, our biggest rivals, Derby County, Everton, not Liverpool, Notts County, there's a debate if they're the oldest club in existence, Preston North End, so there's a big Lancashire feel here, and East Midlands, Stoke, forerunners of Stoke City, West Bromwich Albion, and Wolverhampton Wanderers. So there's a Midlands northwest feel to the foundation of the league. There's no clubs from London, and there's no clubs from Yorkshire. It's Lancashire and the Midlands have really been the driving force behind the creation of the Football League. Now, 2 years later, Stoke do not get readmitted. You have to be, every year you have to apply for admittance. Stoke are voted out technically, and Sunderland, yes, Sunderland, are voted in, and we've done the video on Sunderland and their history. 2 years after that, in 1892, the Football League absorbs the Rival Football Alliance. Now, the clubs that were in the Rival Football Alliance that still exist today, because not all of them exist today, are Liverpool, Newcastle United, Woolwich Arsenal, which would become Arsenal, so the first team from London, Nottingham Forest, Newton Heath, the forerunners to Manchester United, Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday, and a non-league side at the moment, Northwich Victoria. So that was absorbed in, and that helps to create the two-division system. In 1894, more clubs join. Other clubs join and fail at this point, but other clubs that still exist join the league in 1894. Leicester Fosse, who will become Leicester City, and Lincoln City join in 1894. In 1896, another very important club, Blackpool, join the Football League. In 1897, now we're getting further south with some of the teams that are joining, Luton Town joins the Football League, the second furthest south team at this point, not including the Woolwich Arsenal. In 1898, a key thing happens because you have the two divisions, but there's no direct promotion and relegation format at this point until 1898. But also in that year, Barnsley, the first team from Yorkshire, now that still exists, joins the Football League. But it's until 1905 that we start to get the London influx. Chelsea, Fulham and Clapham, future to be Leyton Orient, join the league. So three southwest London clubs join the league. Leyton Orient obviously will move to the east end of London much later, but they're called Clapham Orient at that time. Then Tottenham want to get in on it because Arsenal are now playing in London. Arsenal, their biggest rivals. Tottenham get in on the act in 1907 and they join the league. So there's now the influx of London clubs and clubs from the home counties joining. But it's still a very northern dominated league at this point. Then big thing happens. World War I breaks out. Now, league play is not suspended until 1915, but league play is suspended during the war because of the conflict. Obviously, it resumes post-war, but 1914 to 1918, only one season is played. Post-war, this is where more teams from the home counties and the southern half of England join. The Southern League joins in 1920. Which then leads to a Division 3 South and a Division 3 North, and that leads to some reorganisation after the Second World War, when they reorganise and rationalise the Football League. The first team to win 3 titles in a row is Huddersfield Town between 1923 and 1926. So up until that point, there have been some very dominant sides, Sunderland being one, but they had never won 3 in a row. Huddersfield are the first team to do that. Arsenal are the second team. At this point, they've dropped the Woolwich from their name, and they've now moved to what is Highbury, and they're the second team to win 3 titles in a row between 1932 and 35. And Arsenal, just before World War II, are the top side in the country. 1939, World War II breaks out literally at the start of the Football League season in 1939-1940 season, and league play is suspended yet again. So it's the second time league play has been suspended. It returns post-war. We do have the wartime FA Cup, however, but league play is suspended. By 1950, the league is now at 92 teams, which is still, as we say, in the top 4 divisions, is still 92. So that's how we get our 92 Football League / Premier League structure. Is by 1950 it's got that big. This is where in 1958 they reorganised the current top 4 division structure, where the North and South Division 3s merged together, and then they reorganise it to the top 4 divisions that we have today. That's in 1958. They merged Division 3 North and Division 3 South, and they reorganised the divisions. Some teams are a bit miffed by why they're in Division 4, and some teams are quite happy why they're in Division 3. 1960-61 season, the League Cup is introduced. It took that long to get a League Cup to mirror alongside the FA Cup. It's not until 1965 substitutes are introduced, only for 1 per team for an injured player. Also, the first game on the floodlights and the first time using a white ball is also in this period. Before that, it was a brown leather ball. Now it's a white leather ball. 1974 is the first time we have a league game played on a Sunday. It's between Millwall and Fulham, and Millwall win 1-0. And the first Division 1 game was the following week. So that's 1974. We get the lunchtime Sunday kickoff. Took that long. 1981, this is a key moment. 3 points for a win are introduced rather than 2. Yes, so when we see 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, it was designed to increase attacking play and reward attacking play. The World Cup wouldn't do that for the World Cup groups until 1994, so we led the way there. The biggest moment in the Football League's history, at any point, since the absorption of the rival Football Alliance where the league grew. The Football League shrinks. 1992, a key moment. A lot of people forget this. All the Division 1 clubs basically resigned, plus the promoted teams and the relegated teams resigned to create the Premier League. So the EFL has now shrunk to 3 divisions. So the Premier League is formed in 1992 and there's that separation. However, there is still the promotion relegation between the Premier League and the Football League. But the EPL, what we call the EPL today, the Premier League, is created in 1992. There's a break there, but in the 70s and the 80s, there's a decline in attendances, stadium infrastructure, the rise of hooligan element. There's the European ban on clubs in Europe for English teams. There's a lot going on, and the clubs at all levels are feeling that the EFL is not representing their interests, and the clubs at the top end have a bit more pulling power than the clubs at the bottom end, and they've just en masse resign from the Football League, which is their right. And we can argue, was that a good or a bad moment for English football and global football to death? We can debate the pros and cons of the Premier League's creation separating from the Football League. But from 1992 to 2004, we still have the old Division 1, Division 2, Division 3. There are 70, it goes from 70 teams to 72 teams because the Premier League reorganises itself post-1996. So they have the 3 divisions. It's in 2004, the last big major change to the Football League is they rebrand themselves. So the old Division 1 becomes the Championship, the old Division 2 becomes League 1, and the old Division 3 becomes League 2. So that literally is a brief history of the Football League. I haven't included every club that's joined and every club that's been voted out. I could have put in Accrington being thrown out and Oxford United replacing them, which was a key moment. But I didn't, because I can do the club histories on Oxford United later. I've done a club history on Accrington. But there are some key moments here, like the fact that the League Cup took until 1960 to be introduced, the fact that substitutes were not allowed until 1965, and the fact that the first game on a Sunday wasn't played until 1974 are really interesting. And at the same time, the massive expansion before the First World War and before the Second World War. Huge expansion. Everyone was there almost on a yearly basis. Clubs were going out of business as well in this time and also being thrown out of the Football League. But the massive expansion and the fact that most of the clubs that were involved in the foundation and the early years of the Football League still exist. Now, yes, Northwich Victoria, for example, are in the non-league, but they were an instrumental part of that initial expansion in 1892 when the Football Alliance is absorbed. They are key to the early stages of the Football League establishing itself as the premier football competition in England. And if it wasn't for the Football League being a thing, we may not have had the game growing across Europe and therefore across the world, with South America and ultimately even North America, because in 1950 World Cup, the US beat England. So there you go. And there's my brief history of the English Football League. Thank you very much for watching. Please place in the comments section below what year your club joined, and any other interesting facts that I breezed over, because to get all the history in, we could be here for days, and I don't want to bore you guys to death. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. Please give a like and a subscribe. That is always well appreciated. And for now, goodbye from me, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.